All right, this is the single player Pokemon TCG game that I made. I'm gonna kind of walk through how to play it and explain some of the rules. So your objective is to eventually defeat the gym leader who is carrying one of these. You're looking at the EXs, GXs, V-Stars, Megas, Vs, all those different ones. It's because of the HP that accounts for the scaling of the game. So any one of those will be your gym leader's Pokemon. You're trying to defeat one of those at the very end when you decide to do so. You have your trainer cards here, which you use to heal. We're gonna turn those face down. They can be any trainer cards. They don't have to be these three. I just picked them because they looked cool. And I'm going to just start playing and I'll talk about the rules as I play. So I'm gonna draw 3 to start. I'll pick from these 3 to be my starter, and then the other 2 will go on my bench. Now my objective is to battle and earn trainer cards by knocking out Pokemon or catching them to add them to my team to build a diverse team so that my energies that I draw in my hand each turn are useful. Right now I only have 3 types on my team, so I'm only able to use 3 of the types from my hand generally when attacking and blocking. But I'm going to start by picking a Pokemon from one of these 3 stacks, which are separated by commons, uncommons, and rares. I usually like to start at the basics, but you can pick any one. In fact, you could even choose to fight the gym leader right now if you wanted to. You pick from whichever one you want at any time. I'm going to start here because I want to start slow. But I got a Hippopotas. So I'm going to draw my hand of 7 cards. Every turn you draw until you have 7 total in your hand. You don't ever draw past 7. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I have a wide range of energies here. Your energy deck is going to be 5 of every type of energy, totaling 40 cards. 5 dark, 5 fighting, 5 lightning, etc., etc. You'll shuffle them and draw the random hand of energy to do things here. So I'll talk about attacking and blocking. So when I go to attack, I need to fulfill one of my Pokemon's energy costs exactly as it is. So this one is a colorless, so I can put down any energy I want. If it was this guy, I would need a water and a psychic. I don't have either of those, so I can't play that. If I had that guy at the front, I would need a lightning and any other energy here, so that would work. And the way I calculate the damage is strictly by the energy cost. So elemental energies will be 20 damage and the colorless will be 10. And that's not affected by the energies that I have here. So let's say that I had 2 lightning energies down. That wouldn't change, that this is still a elemental and a colorless. That would total up to 20 plus 10 equaling 30. For blocking, let's put back to where I had it. If I want to block, I have to use cards that are the same type as my Pokemon. If they're colorless, they can use any. That's one of the strengths of colorless. One of the downsides of colorless is it never has any elemental, so it can't really do a lot of attack. For dragon types, if I want to block, I have to use any cards from the energy cost elemental typing. So I could use 2 waters, I could use 2 psychics, or I could use a water and a psychic, but those two types are allowed for blocking with dragon. That's the strength of dragon. But let's go back to where I had it. So with this Bunnelby, I can attack with 1 energy. I'm going to choose an energy from a type that I don't currently have in my team because I want to save the ones that I do have that match my team type for maybe a later hand. And then I can block for up to 2. So there's 2 spots here for blocking. They have to be the same type as the Pokemon that you have in the active spot. Luckily for me, this is a colorless, so I can use any block. So I'm going to use a steel and a grass. Now I'm going to do 1 colorless, which is 10. So I'll do 10 damage to him. And enemy Pokemon, no matter what rarity they come from in these top 3 spots, common, uncommon, and rare. They all do 30 no matter what. What scales is the average HP. So the longer the battle, the more difficult, because you're just going to be losing HP every turn. That's part of the strategy and the health management. But he's going to do 30 minus my 2 block cards, which do 10 block each. I can only do 2 max, so I can't block a full attack. So I can only block 20 out of that 30, so I'll take 10 as well. If I had had no block cards, I would have taken a full 30. Now that the turn is over, I will discard any cards here, and then I will discard any cards from my hand that I don't want. So I don't have any steel or fighting or dark, so I'm gonna just discard those 3. That will allow me to draw 3 more cards in my draw of 7 that just might happen to match these. So I'll discard any cards I don't want and retain any cards that I do want, and then I'll draw till I have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so can't use Gumi because I don't have the psychic energy. I do have a lightning. I think I want a full block again because I don't want to take a whole lot of damage. I will block for 2 and do my 10 attack here. Pretty much the same as last time. I'll do 10 and he will do 10. Then I'll discard these 3. And I'll discard these 3. Actually I'll keep 1. I'll keep both because I could actually block with that. So these 3 are useful in my next hand because I could possibly use them here or obviously there. So I only will draw 4 cards. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I got a psychic and a water. So here's a great opportunity to use Gumi. I see that Hippopotas has a lot of elemental damage, so he's a good attacker. In that same vein, he's not a good blocker because I'll be using most of his energies for attacking and then won't have any fighting left over for blocking. So he's a good attacker, but not a good blocker. I could really use a great attacker, especially fighting. So I'm gonna try to catch him, and I'll talk about how to catch here in a second. After I move Gumi to the front, I'm going to pay Buttlebee's retreat cost here, which is 1 colorless energy, and I'll just play any energy I want to retreat him. And I'll move Gumi up to the front. Gumi will attack for 2 elemental energies, which is 40 total, which is great. And then he'll block for 2. I can use these 2 because they are in his attack cost. That's the strength of Dragon, is a wider variety of block typing. So I'm gonna do 40 to him, which brings him up to 60. And then he'll do 10 to me. Okay, let's draw 5 till I have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I want to catch that Hippopotas. The way that I do that is by paying 3 energy cards to throw a Pokeball, which is either a coin flip of heads or an even number on your dice. Now he has to be at 50% health for that to be the case. If he was any higher than 50% health, then I would have to roll a 6. I'm not sure what that would be for a coin flip. Maybe it's like 2 heads in a row. Is that 1/6? It might be. But the math would be a 1/6 approach. So you'd have to roll a 6 on a die to catch it if it had more than 50% health. But it has less than 50 here. Even if it was at 50, if it was at 50 health right here, that would be 50%. And the trigger is at 50%, so we can catch him. I can still block as well in case my catch misses. So I want to prepare for that. I do have the energies to block with him, so I will do so. And then I will throw out 3 energies or discard them. 1, 2, 3. I don't need these. These won't be helpful for my team. So I'll discard those 3, and then I get to flip a coin. Oops. It landed tails, so that means I missed. So that means I'll take 10 from his attack, and then I can try again next turn. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Again, I can block for the full 20, and I will discard these 3 to flip again. I'll use a smaller coin. Yes, okay, that's heads. It's kind of hard to tell, but that was the heads. So I'll add him to my team with the damage that he has. I won't take that off. All right, now time to choose the next battle. I still get to retain my hand and discard any unwanted cards, but I want to keep these 2, so I'll keep them. I'm gonna go with a middle one because I kind of want to build a stronger team here. Dunsparce, not that great. He's a good blocker and a weak attacker because he's colorless. He's only got 60 health, that's really bad. So I'm going to just knock him out and get one of my trainer cards here. So let's do that, and then I'll talk about what trainer cards do. I want to get Hippopotas up there because Dunsparce is weak to fighting. The weaknesses and resistances do apply in this game. They just come off the total calculated damage from the cost attack that you do. So this one does 40. If it was doubled, it would do 80. If it was minus 30 from the resistance, it would only do 50. But it comes off the totaling here. So I'm gonna actually start my turn by drawing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I'm gonna get, well, I don't have the energy for Hippopotas. I don't have any fighting here, so I'm kind of out of luck there. Yikes. I will discard these 2 to get Flaffy up there because I do have a lot of lightning. Thank goodness I kept those 2. I have a lightning rich hand, which means I can even attack with Flaffy. So he does 20 for the elemental and 10 for the colorless, so that's 30 total. And then we block 10 plus 10 from his 30, which means he does 10 damage to us. We've had really good block this game. Sometimes you just don't get the block you need. Okay, we're gonna draw 6 more. Still did not get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe we'll get one here. Did not get any fighting. But we can knock him out, so we don't even need to play block. I can just throw down lightning and a colorless, or energy of any type to fulfill the colorless, and knock him out for 30. So I will do that. I'll knock him out, and then I get to flip over one of my trainer cards. Trainer cards can be used at any time. There's obviously a max of 3 here, but they do one of 3 things. They either heal 30 from 1, 10 from the entire party, which is advantageous, or you can discard your hand and draw 7 again. If your trainer cards are full and you knock somebody out, you just immediately activate one of those 3 effects to your team. And they are part of the strategy in managing the health of your team. You'll notice my whole team has damage on it. I want to keep that damage mostly in the mid-range of their health. That's a good place to be. You don't have to have a full team that's healthy and nobody has damage. You're not shooting for that. You're just trying to keep it roughly at the mid-level. And when it starts approaching towards within 10, 20 of being knocked out, then you start paying attention and use your trainer cards to manage that health down. So let's keep going. I've got 4 Pokemon now. I want to kind of get a few more stronger ones. I don't think I can handle a rare right now, so I'm going to go for another middle one and hope I get a good one. Ooh, Gliscor. I already have a fighting type on my team, so that's not going to be helpful to add. I mean, he would be somewhat better, I think, than Hippotas, considering he has a full colorless attack, where Hippotas does not. I really like the fact that Hippotas can do 50, and that all colorless and many more Pokemon have a fighting weakness. That's where he's going to really be strong. So I'm just going to knock out Gliscor. I have 5 cards, so I'll draw 2. And then I will, let's see. I'm weak to Gliscor, so he would do 60 to me this turn, so I definitely do not want to have Flaffy up there. So I'm going to discard 2 energies that aren't my team typings, because I don't need them, to fulfill Flaffy's retreat cost. And I will throw up, I guess, Bunnelby. He's going to be a little bit of a sponge, because he's not that great. He does have 70 HP, which is better than 60, but he's not really a strong guy that I want to keep on my team long term, so I'll kind of use him as a sponge for some of the damage that I'll take getting rid or knocking out Pokemon I don't really care about. So I will put, let's see, I don't need grass or fire. I'll play those 3. Blocking for 2, because he's colorless, I can use any energy type. That's his strength. And I'll only attack for 10, because I'm fulfilling this 1 colorless energy. So I will do 10 damage, and he will do 10 as well. I'll discard. I'm going to keep these 2 in my hand because I can definitely use them next turn. And then I will shuffle the deck here of energy cards that have been discarded. And then place it right back in the draw pile. There's a reason why I sleeved the energy cards. It makes them easier to shuffle. A lot of people can shuffle like this. You're shuffling this deck a lot, so having the sleeves helps protect them and making shuffling easier, and makes shuffling easier. So I'm going to draw 5 more. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, I drew an extra. So I have 7 now. Let's see, I can use Gumi here. So I think I will do it. I'm gonna pay his 1 energy retreat cost, put up Gumi, and you know, Gumi's gonna take a big hit if I do that. It's too late, I already paid the energy cost, so I'll do it, I'll attack. I kind of want to knock some of his health down too. He's a little strong. So I will do 40, which brings him up to 50. And then he will do a full 30 to me, which is scary. Brought me up to 50. So now I'm paying attention to Gumi. I'm going to be a little bit more protective of him, maybe not use him as I just did in a more aggressive way. I might only use him for a knockout or things like that because he's close to that. Now I might use my trainer card right now if I want to bring him down 30 health. But I'm going to hold off for the moment because I might be able to knock him out and then heal with 2 of these, which would be 20 for everybody. So I like that better. I'm gonna try to do that. So let's discard, and then I will discard these 2 as well. I don't have those types on my team. And then I'll draw 5 more. Ooh, look at that. Okay, so I'm gonna use these 2 to retreat Gumi for his 2 retreat costs. And I'm gonna throw old Hippotas up there because he's gonna do a lot of damage for me. So I'll put these 2 and I'll block for 10. I don't have any more fighting, so I can't block anymore. This kind of shows how Hippotas, even with a fighting energy rich hand, still is not fully blocking, but he's gonna do a massive attack here. So 20 plus 20 plus 10 is 50. So we're gonna do 50 damage to him. Bring that up to 100. And then he's gonna do 30 minus 10, so 20 to us, bringing us up to 80. Now Hippotas is getting close. He's 20 away from being knocked out. Gumi's only 10 away from being knocked out. But these two other guys are good. I'm not worried about them. All right, I'm gonna discard these, and then I'm gonna draw 6. Let's hope that was 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Getting pretty good at that. Sleeves makes that easier too. You can kind of feel how many cards you're drawing. So hippopotamus. Don't say that 10 times fast. Hippopotamus is not great here. I don't have any energy for him. So his retreat cost is massive. So I'm going to use these 4 though. I'm still gonna do it. To throw Flaffy up there and just block this turn. I can't really attack, which is unfortunate, but that's one of the payoffs or trade-offs for Hippopotamus. He's hard to get back into your bench. I'll mention this again at the time that it happens, but you're allowed to switch out who's in your active spot right before you pick a brand new Pokemon from one of the decks. It's a good advantage here if you have Hippopotamus in the active spot and kind of just want to take them out between battles. Still retaining your hand, but let's draw 6 to move to the next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I only need to do 20 damage, so I'm gonna get Flaffy out of there and throw up Goomy. Goomy's pretty strong for a little basic. So I'll knock him out. And I get another trainer. So at this point, I can just use both of those if I want to. Get my team back to a little bit more of a good place. But I want to use them at the exact moment that I need to. That way I can get the most out of them. Because right now if I used both of them, it wouldn't fully be used for Flaffy there. He'd only take one of those. So let's hold off. I'm gonna throw my little sponge up there, Bunnelby. He's got the lowest amount of retreat cost, so he's great as a start up front because you can just assuredly block if you need to. Okay, so let's go. I don't want to do a rare again because I don't know if I can last that long. Let's see, I'll throw, ooh, I would like a Tropius. So he has 110 health, which means that his 50% point is technically 55, but it would be 60 damage needs to be done to bring him down to 50 health. That would trigger a even number or heads coin flip catch. So 60 damage is what I need to do. Who can do that? He's weak to fire, but let's see, Bunnelby can do 10 per turn. He'll take 10 per turn. So that would, he's got 70 health, 30 damage. So that I could do that 4 times, but that wouldn't be enough. And then I'd be sacrificing Bunnelby. So let's just see what I get in my hand here. I'll draw 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not a great hand. I could do Goomy again, but I'd get knocked out for sure. I think I'll just use Bunnelby's spongeness here and get rid of some of these cards I don't have typings for. So Bunnelby will do 10. And then he'll take only 10 because he's blocking for 2. So he'll go up to 40. Draw again. Okay, so I got 2. I got 2 of the fighting energies. I don't know if I want to use those right now. Hippopotamus is 20 away from getting knocked out. So he couldn't attack without being knocked out. Goomy can't attack without being knocked out. So it sounds like I need to get rid of some of these cards in my hand. So I'll get rid of these 2. And then I'll get rid of this one to ensure that I still have the 2 here that I need for Goomy just in case. I think Bunnelby's going to take quite a bit of damage here just from sponging until my hand gets where I want it to be. So again, I'll do 10 to him And then he'll do 10 to me. And we'll roll it again. All right, draw 3. Not that great again. Might need to do Bunnelby. And just play the 3 that I got. Sounds about right. Bunnelby taking 1 for the team here. So, I can't remember if I did the damage to him. I'm pretty sure I did. Let's see if our hand will save Bunnelby this turn. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, it just might. It just might. Okay, so I can't full block with Goomy. I can't full block with Goomy, but I might be stuck with the way my hands are set up. I might need to do Flaffy here and just let him take a little hit. Let's do that. My hand might be kind of locked up because the energy cost here is quite high. To have 4 fighting energies and to have 4 that are this specific type is kind of hard to get in a hand of 7 where I'm playing 3 of them each turn. I might have even not wanted to have attacked with Bunnelby just to allow my hand to have the cards that I wanted in it. But we'll try this. I will play just a block. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's keep this here and see if I can get some more for Goomy. Although Goomy's gonna get knocked out no matter what, so that's kind of not a great strategy. Okay, let's adjust. I'm gonna absorb with Flaffy. Flaffy's okay, but he's not that great. 90 health is okay. But I'm gonna just full on attack. I wanna get his damage up here. So let's do 30 more, which takes him to 60, and then I'll take the full 30. Now I will draw 3 to fill my hand. And you know what? That's where we need him to be. So now we can just block, because I want to catch him, right? So I'm gonna pay these 2 to retreat. Now we're in catching phase. I'm gonna use these 2 to block, even though Goomy's gonna die. Should I risk it? No, I should put Bunnelby. I should risk Bunnelby. Yeah, I should risk Bunnelby. I could risk Hippopotas. In fact, that's what I should do. I paid my 2 retreat from Flaffy, so I'll choose Hippopotas. Because I can do, let's go to my hand. I had put those down for Goomy, so I'll put them back in my hand. I'm gonna block here and just pray that I catch. We'll use our lucky Snorlax coin. He's heavy on one side, so pray that's the side we want it to be, which is heads. No, it's tails. He's so heavy. So I'll take 10 damage. Wah. And now I'm in a really bad position because it's gonna cost me. Did I pay the 3 energy from the Pokeball throw? I did not. So I'll have to still discard these 3 in order to have done that Pokeball throw. But I'm in a bad position here because it's gonna take a big portion of my hand just to get Hippopotas out of the active spot to not get knocked out. Because if I miss my next throw, he's out. And he's my strongest attacker. I'm gonna have to just spend my whole 7-card hand just to retreat and throw. So Flaffy, you might be taking some damage here. I see a good mix up there. Okay. Let's pray for a good hand. I could, let's not forget about my trainer cards there. This might be the opportune time to use one of those. Now that my health is much higher for all of these, I'll get the full effect for all those. Let's do it. Let's use one of them. I'm gonna use my rocket remote. And I'll heal 10 from everybody. So bring that down to 80, 40, 50 and 30. Let me just click a button here. Okay. All right, so let's catch him. I want to block, but I don't really have good block. I'll have to just sacrifice Bunnelby, it looks like. Or no, I can absorb with Flaffy, so let's do that. Let's just discard the 4 to retreat, Hippopotas, throw Flaffy up, and then discard 3 to catch with the, that didn't count, catch with the Snorlax coin. Right on. So we got Tropius on our team. We do not remove his damage, we keep it. Which is why you really want to hit that 50% mark when you're catching. You don't want to go way crazy and take out most of their health. You want to shoot for that 50% health mark pretty closely, which is another level of strategy, which makes this game a lot of fun. I kind of like the health management, all of that. Now, if I wanted to, I could go take on Salazzle, Gym Leader. Now, the only difference here is the Gym Leader Pokemon does a flat 50. So he does a lot more damage, 20 more each turn, which means you're guaranteed taking 30 each turn. But if you have a really diverse team and a lot stronger Pokemon, which I don't really have that here, I've got kind of a weak team, that's not so difficult. You take advantage of his weakness, maybe his resistance, things like that, and who knows? Might be difficult, might be easy, depending on how well you deal with your team and where their health is at and how you apply their typings and your hands and all of those different strategies. Those will all play a part in defeating the Gym Leader. So that's a good playthrough. Kind of gives you an idea of how to play. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I didn't cover. I think that's most of it. I hope you enjoy it. It's a great game. I've been playing a lot. I've been playing it Gauntlet style, where I've just been going endless. Just keep adding and knocking out and getting better and better Pokemon on my team. So anyways, have fun.